I'm going to discuss about the topic constraint-based association mining and classifications in data mining. Data mining procedure can uncover thousands of rules from a given sets of information, most of which end up being independent or tedious to the users. Users have a best sense of which directions of mining can lead to interesting patterns and the form of the patterns or rules they can like to discover. Therefore, a good heuristic is to have the user defines such institutions or expectations as constraints to constrain the search space. This strategy is called constraint-based mining. Constraint-based algorithm need constraint to decrease the search area in the frequent item set generation step. The association rule generating steps is exact to that of exhaustive algorithms. The general constraints is the supportive minimum thresholds. If a constraint is uncontrolled, its inclusions in the mining phase can support significant reductions of the exploration space because of the definition of a boundary inside the search space lattice, following which explorations is not needed. Next, the importance of constraints is well defined. They create only association rules. They are appealing to users. The method is quite trivial and the rule space is decreased, whereby remaining methods satisfy the constraints. Constraint-based clustering discover clusters that satisfy user-defined preferences or constraints. It depends on the characteristics of the constraints. Constraint-based clustering can adapt rather than different approaches. One is knowledge type constraints, data constraints, interestingness constraints, and then rule constraints. Then knowledge type constraint, these defines the types of knowledge to be mined, including association or correlations. These define the set of task relevant information such as dimensional level constraint. These define the desired dimensions of the informations or methods of the concept hierarchies to be utilized in mining. Interestingness constraints, these defines thresholds or numerical measures of rule interestingness include support, confidence and correlations. Rule constraints, these defines the form of rules to be mined. Such constraints can be defined as the maximum or minimum numbers of predicates that can appear in the rules, consequent or as relationship between attributes, values or aggregates. Next, the following constraints can be described using a high-level declarative data mining query languages and user interfaces. These forms of constraint-based mining enables user to define the rules that can be like to uncover, thus by creating the data mining process more efficient. Furthermore, a sophisticated mining query optimizers can be used to deal the constraints defined by the user, thereby creating the mining process more effective. Constraint-based mining boosts interactive exploring mining and analysis. Classifications and predictions in data mining. Talent training datasets which is gone under classifications algorithm and the classification rules, and the new data prediction results, and then prediction result is talent test data. Next, there are two forms of data analysis that can be used to extract model describing important classes or predict further data trends. These two forms are called classification and prediction. We use classifications and prediction to extract a model representing the data classes to predict future data trends. Classifications predicts the categorical labels of data with the prediction models. This analysis provides us with the best understanding of the data at the large scale. Classification models predict categorical class labels, and the prediction model predict continuous valid functions. For example, we can build a classification model to categorize bank loan applications as either safe or risky, or prediction model to predict the expenditure in dollar of potential customers on computer equipment given income or occupations. Next, classification is identify the category or class labels of your new observations. First, a set of data is used as a training set. The set of input data and the corresponding outputs are given to the algorithm. So the training data sets include the input data and their association class labels. For example, the observable data for multiple loan borrowers, a classification models may be established that forecast credit risk. The goal would be credit ranking, the predictors would be the other characteristics, and the data would represent a case of each consumer's. A model is constructed to find a categorical label. Next, how it works. Developing the classifiers or model creations. How does Developing the classifiers, applying classifiers for classifications, data classifications process. We may also refer to these records, samples, objects, or data points. Next, applying classifiers for classification, which is sentimental analysis, document classification, image classifications, and machine learning classifications. And the data classification life cycles are role-based practice, storage, sharing, archive, publications, and origins. Data is complex and the continuous method is a classification. Thank you.